So all good things come to an end. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Empire Precious Metals. Today I wanted to talk about my recent announcement, my 300th and final auction. Those of you that are familiar with the channel know that I have been doing these live stream auctions for close to 6.5 years. Hence the reason we are at number 300. So you just do the math, 1 per week, sometimes 2 per week. It adds up. And so now we are approaching number 300. Over the course of the 6.5 years that I've been doing this, I have seen a tremendous amount of growth, and then I've seen the slide, especially over the last year. There's a bunch of reasons for this. Essentially, the good old days were around COVID-19. That's because a lot of people were locked inside. They were looking for entertainment, ways to spend their money. That's why we saw a lot of collectibles go up in value. People getting back to that nostalgic time period of their lives, whether it be comic books, coins, stamps, figurines, all these different things just blew up because a lot of people were looking for something to do while they were at home. And needless to say, my channel, in the terms of the live stream auctions, did very, very well. And over the last 6 years, I have seen the growth, and last year was actually my best year. Broke just over about $1 million in revenue, but that's everything. That's all the YouTube ad revenue, sponsorships, the live stream auctions, my web sales, merch, everything all together. I saw a little over $1 million in gross revenue. And I have watched, though, over the last year, a steady decline in sales for the auctions. And I've noticed a lot of channels that got into auctions after I was doing them, and other channels, and they have exited way before me. I've seen a pop-up of different live stream sales platforms that essentially have pulled a wide range of people who didn't have any social media presence, and just the times have changed. Now, a lot of these online platforms that people have gone to for sales and for auctions, I've seen the majority of these channels and these platforms, they've done a lot of almost like mystery packs and mystery boxes, things like that, things that are kind of gambling in nature. And that's something that I've never really done. I've never done that really on this channel, maybe only a few times. Didn't really like it. I always typically would just sell particular products. You bought what you were bidding on, and that was it. I didn't do any of these duck games where people bid on slots, or they put like $10, $20, $30 for a spot. There's 10 spots, and then you run a cartoon that has a particular person win the item, or people put $10, $50 down on a spot, and there's X amount of spots and they win some bigger prize. So this seems to be a model in which a lot of these online platforms are moving towards, and a lot of the people that are trying to get into the sales space, they're doing this because it's really one of the only ways that they can be profitable. Now, I'm not saying all of them. There are some channels who I'm friendly with who have done very well on some of these other platforms and continue to do well, and I wish them all the best. Some of them I'm actually very good friends with who are content creators here on YouTube. But when it comes to the auctions on the channel, the writing's been on the wall for, I would say, at least 6 months. I've seen a decrease in the turnout of the people on the live streams, and I have seen the profit margins shrink, specifically with collectible pieces. When I'm talking, I'm trying to see if I have an example here. This is the closest that I have. Well, let's just go with something like this, or like this. Or like this. I'm just grabbing a few things here. Collectible pieces such as, like this Han Solo and Carbonite bar, or this Death Star coin, or this like little Freddy Krueger coin. These types of collectible pieces, okay, they are collectible. They're not meant to be stacked. They're meant to collect. People that enjoy those different genres and pieces or what have you, they buy those. Some people buy them with the intent on flipping them someday for a profit. Others just buy them just to collect them. But that whole market, at least here on my YouTube channel, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I've seen it just completely drop, mainly in part for a couple of reasons. Number one, price of gold continues to stay high. We are still close to all-time highs. In fact, when I pull up the spot price, we're at $3,444 at the time of the recording of this video. And silver now is at $39.42. We are getting very close to $40 an ounce. So what does that mean as a seller? It's getting increasingly difficult to sell silver items. You know, silver coins like this, semi-numismatic coins, right? These types of things are getting harder and harder to sell, because if you think about it, just do the simple math. Let's say spot's up $40. Okay, $40 for 1 ounce of silver. That means then it's got to get marked up to the refiners and to the mints, and those mints then have to tack on their increase or their premiums, which then get sold to the wholesalers. So you add a few dollars, at least maybe $4 onto those wholesale prices, and then those wholesalers then tack on their profits that they need to make on there, so their premium gets added to it. So by the time, again, just using the $40 as an example at the time of the recording of this video, by the time it gets to me, a dealer or an online retailer, such as the big heavy hitters online, you're talking around, $47, $48 cost to me or to the online retailers, and then we have to mark it up to the general public. So you're saying for a coin like this, now it's going to cost you maybe $48 to $50, maybe even more, just for a semi-numismatic coin. And so it's becoming increasingly challenging for people to part with their money on silver prices as high as they are. Now, if silver had come down or comes down back into the mid $20 range, which I do not think is going to happen, at least not for a very, very long time, I think that the way of the marketplace is going to continue to get difficult for the online retailers and the dealers to sell their products. So they're going to have to come out with new innovative ways in which they can sell these products by doing gambling games, or only the people that can really afford these types of products at these higher prices will be able to buy them. They're not going to be stacking as much as they were in the past. I've already seen this happening with gold. People that were able to buy half-ounce gold pieces are dropping down to 10th-ounce pieces. People that used to stretch for the 10th-ounce gold pieces are now dropping down to 1 gram gold pieces or dos pesos. This is something that I have seen for an extended period of time. And my prices, I know some people in the comments are going to say that's because your prices are too high. Actually, no, they aren't. I wouldn't have had the following that I have had for the last 6 years if they were high. I have sold things at my wholesale cost. Some stuff I've sold even less than my wholesale cost. And when it comes to like the gold and things like that, my markup is minuscule. So I'm going to say that unless the market corrects its course or changes, goes back down for the price of silver and gold, I'm not going to be doing the auctions like I once was. It doesn't make sense anymore. It's not cost effective. It gets to the point where you have to consider your time and the money that you're making. Those of you that are wondering, how much did I make on some of these auctions? Okay, so I said again, last year with all of my revenue streams, I had over $1 million gross sales. When it comes to the auctions themselves, I've had some nights, especially back in the good old days of COVID-19, 2019, 2020, even in 2021, I've had some nights where my net profit ranged anywhere between $3,000 to $7,000 of net profit. That wasn't all the time. That was once in a while. There were a few weeks where I had back-to-back outrageous numbers where I actually started to think, maybe I should consider doing this full time. Like it was crazy, but I always knew that everything has a shelf life and that nothing is for certain, and that at any given time the market can change. YouTube, the platform which is my primary means of production content and sales, that could change. They could shut down your channel at any given notice, any given time. So there's a lot of factors that you have to weigh into, going into any sort of business full time. So that is one of the main reasons why I never really jumped jumped all in, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because the way that the market's going, it's going to be increasingly difficult for a lot of people who are stacking and selling. So what does this mean? Going forward, I still will have the live stream podcast. So for those of you that enjoy the channel and like to hang out with me once a week or once every 2 weeks, I'm still going to be around. Those of you that hate me, unfortunately, I'm still not going anywhere. Sorry, so sorry. Too bad, so sad. When it comes to sales, those of you that are members of the channel, I still have the Discord server, and I still will be posting pre-sales on there. I still will be posting pre-sale gold in my Discord server. If any of you are interested in my Discord server, email me. My contact information is down below. You could also email me through my website, empirepreciousmetals.com. But all you have to do is become a member of the channel. It's as little as $1.99, and then you get in and you have access to all of these pre-sales and the pre-sale of gold. I'm trying to think of anything else. If there's any other like lessons that I could, I guess here's a couple things I could leave to those of you that are thinking about getting into precious metals and into sales. It could be extremely lucrative when done correctly. Like I said, I've done this for 6 years. I've watched my revenue year over year increase. It's afforded me some tremendous things that I wasn't able to typically buy as a teacher. Those of you that are tuning into this or didn't realize, I'm a middle school social studies teacher. So there have been some things that I've been able to buy because of this. I've been able to increase my gold stack. I've been able to buy myself a new vehicle. I've been able to buy myself some high-end collectibles. I've been able to put money into crypto, more money into the stock market. There's a lot of things that this has afforded me over the last 6 years, but it wasn't just something that happened overnight. Took a lot of dedication. Like I said, go through my channel and you'll see week after week after week after week, it's procuring all the metals that you're going to sell, buying it, unpacking and logging all of those shipments, putting everything into your spreadsheets, getting all that stuff ready for a particular auction, actually conducting the live stream auction, then reconciling the orders, making sure everybody has paid. If they haven't, you have to chase them down. Once they have paid, then you got to pack everything up and then you got to ship it all out. And I did this week in and week out for 6 to 6.5 years. And so now is the time that I'm saying I'm going to be pulling away from those types of sales. And like I said earlier, I'll still do the pre-sales on Discord and some pre-sales once in a while on the YouTube live streams. But that essentially is what's going on, guys. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. If you're thinking about getting into precious metals, there's a lot of stuff that you have to consider. You need a lot of startup capital, and you have to have a plan. And to be honest with you guys too, I said always that I would be riding this wave for as long as I possibly can until I knew that the time was right to end the auctions, and I have reached that point. So that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you've gotten into precious metal sales, if you've thought of it. Yeah, guys, I will see you on the next one.